Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. In case you didn't already know, that's new Cadillac Escalade, and they've increased the horsepower of the V8 engine to 420. I think that's going to be the last of the ICE Escalades that's on the market. If you're an American and you want one, its starting price is $150,000 before all the options. If I had one, I wouldn't have it in that colour. I'd have it in a lighter colour, and I certainly wouldn't have the black interior that has got. But I do like this more refined grille, as it looks a lot better than the previous one. Anyway, last week, as you know, I did a video about the little spat that's been going on in Canada regarding the MGTOW hashtag and the Canadian government and the Canadian establishment having a hissy fit over it and bouncing up and down like a bunch of toddlers. Now, looking around, I found this. You could say this is sort of an epilogue to that last week's video, and as you can see, it's a site called European Iron Radicalization. Now, this was written on the 18th of November 2022 by this lady here, Dr. Sarah Brzezinski Kaiwisk, and it's a woman's point of view on MGTOW, so you can pretty much gather that it's slanted in a woman's favour, and she just doesn't understand the whole concept. Now, this opening bit is just about the little spat that went on in Canada with the MGTOW hashtag on his 50 of his videos, and it goes on, men going their own ways placed within the manosphere. According to MGTOW manifestos circulating, if you click on that, it brings up this, all about MGTOW. Scramble down, get rid of that. MGTOW chooses ownership over sovereignty. MGTOW has the right to say no. Of course, a guy does not have to date, a guy does not have to get married, a guy can simply look after himself and manage his own resources and live a quiet life. It's rejecting the preconceived notions and silly cultural habits that define a man today. Of course, he doesn't need to get married. He lives a quiet life. They do not fit into the social norms and refuse to kneel down and be enslaved like a common object. That is because society today treats man as a walking ATM. And they live first their own interests in a world where it is not appropriate. In other words, they're bachelors, or if they never get married, they're confirmed bachelors. But women like her doesn't understand it. Where are we now? Though it might not seem very apparent from these declarations, the ideology, no it's not, it's a philosophy, underlying the movement, no it's a philosophy, is completely misogynistic. There again, throwing this word, the M word, at us. Take a closer look at it, and we find multiple examples between MGTOW and other components of the manosphere, such as incels. In other words, they're trying to link incels with MGTOW. That's been doing that for a while now, as you should know. The locus of control, locus of control, and it goes, it tries to explain it, and then MGTOW do not really conceive any form of self-criticism. We're not criticizing, we're just living our own lives quietly. Though the extremely external locus is typical of incels, it is a feature they share with virtually every other component of the manosphere, including MGTOW. There again, they're trying to link us with incels. They've always been doing that because they can't understand that MGTOW has no centre. And then it says the manosphere is crowded with disparaging views of women, and at best women are portrayed as interested in sex and shallow. Well, I could agree with that. There are some bad apples, but to link all MGTOWs as having that view is just silly. They will seek the most powerful partner, yes. Called the 80-20 rule, the 90-10 rule, hypergamy. Both sexes are shallow. women want rich and powerful people for resources. Men want young and fertile women for breeding. Both, as the optimized man says, both sexes are shallow. In our modern societies, this translates into the richest man, of course. Elon Musk could probably get any woman he wanted. And look at the women that all these billionaires have got. Look at Leonardo DiCaprio. He bangs sub-25-year-old models. Then when he turns 25, he dumps them and gets another one. In this view, women's nature is pathologically hedonist, unable to think in the long-term, materialistic and sexually aggressive. And then it goes about history favouring women. And more. Besides the differences, experts and governments are becoming increasingly aware of the threat posed by the discourses in the manosphere which, albeit not necessarily violent, can still act as a powerful breeding ground for radicalization and should be considered a radical milieu. In other words, the governments, according to this crowd, wants to link MGTOW with these nut jobs. The Muslim Brotherhood, the cancer of the Islamic world. When it comes down to men and women, now it is clearly a one-sided deal, a very bad deal, but men are continuing to act stupidly, i.e. thinking with the little head instead of the big head, and continuing to be desperate for any female attention and approval. And of course there's a lot of white knighting going on constantly, both in real life and online. And then it goes on about the Canadian guy who started it off. Now this bit is interesting. Canadian security and intelligence officials have warned that violent misogyny is considered a national security threat. In other words, Canada is moving closer to considering MGTOW, men guarding their own wallet, a national security threat and a form of ideological motivated violent extremism. In other words, they don't like the idea that guys can keep the money and the resources to themselves, which will affect the Canadian economy because the guy doesn't need as much money and goodies and stuff as what women do. And then he seems to calm it down a bit. Men going their own way do not seem to be tangibly violent yet. Do not seem to be. And then he tag on yet. However, blaming society for being an interestingly unfair and biased system, wishing to dismantle feminism, no. We just want to live our own life. If feminism vanished, things had returned to normal, as it always was, with two sexes complementing each other, and accusing women of being shallow, materialistic and immoral. A lot of these women on TikTok are showing themselves to be shallow, materialistic and immoral because they have a shopping list of what they want from a guy. Leads to a choice of disengaging with any form of relations with the opposite sex. This in turn fosters the creation of a worldview in which communication interaction with the outgroup, i.e. women, is completely non-existent. Well, toxic feminism has done that. If you ever seen these protests, they just don't want anything to do with men. So are they surprised when men simply say, okay, we'll go our own way? And then it goes on, this radicalization stems from the absolute rupture between the in-group and the out-group, with the first continuously reinforcing narratives of hate, another word they throw at us, about the latter, and discourses of victimhood about itself. Now this crowd, let's have a look who they are. I had a look earlier on. She's Dutch, she's a Swede, he's a Swede, another Swede by the looks of his name. Don't know where he's from. He's a Belgian. She looks like a Swede or a Dutch lady. He's French. I don't know about New Delhi. He's an Indian. Then an Indian lady, by the looks of her. Looks like an Indian. She's an Egyptian lady. Sigrid, that's a German Muslim lady. One more. And you can see the crowd which works for them is Arab. I've seen a commentary on YouTube videos that female feminism is spreading all over the Arab world and in India. So I should imagine that MGTOWs are also starting to grow right through the Middle East and in India. One more. Yeah. You can see the crowd which writes for this article. Let's get back there. Whoops, silly boy, don't do that. Anyway, this crowd is completely ignorant about the realities of MGTOW. They don't understand it. They do not comprehend why MGTOW is in existence. MGTOW didn't exist before radical feminism kicked in, and MGTOW is not going to go away because this crowd doesn't understand that it's a reaction to feminism and all the rest of it. As you can see, we're out of here, men going their own way, liberated from social expectations and future ex-wives. See your local feminist for recruitment incentives today. This lady is like the rest of them. She doesn't understand that guys are seeing what's happening to other guys about MGTOW, and they decided that the best course of action is to go their own way and guard their own wallet. I think I'm on the 10-minute mark now, probably a bit beyond that. So I'll be doing another video on Christmas Day, not one of these types of videos, but for now I think that's it. You know the routine, people. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe. I naturally put the link below as you can have a read of it yourself. So until Christmas Day, that's it from me. Bye bye.